I don't know how to compute this. I don't know how to process this. So I thought instead of doing a review tomorrow, after letting everything settle, I'm going to react straight away. And I think that's the best way to do this, because what I witnessed in that four-quarter performance on a Thursday night game, broadcast all around the country against a side that was 0-2, being beaten badly in the first two rounds, and a side we should be beating, was the most disgraceful four-quarter performance we've had under Ken Hinkley, and one of our worst performances I think I've seen. The Oz kickers look better out and about on the field at halftime at Marvel. This was a game of football that we simply should have won, and yet we choked it. Just let it slide like it was nothing. A goal up every end of each quarter. It was one of the more soulless performances by a Port Adelaide team in a long time. That was a disgrace. That was by far and wide one of the worst things I've witnessed. I can't compute how shit that was. To sit here after a game where you expect to win, you come in here. This party that Ken's having, this club we have that we're supporting, is soulless, has no guts. We are a surface level football club. There is nothing, absolutely nothing you can tell me that suggests otherwise. You cannot tell me every player on that field tonight gave their heart and soul. It was disgusting, some of the efforts I saw. Jogging through the middle of the ground as Essendon pierced through us in that last quarter. Playing safe along the wing. Short chip kicks, trying to pull off more than they could chew. It is something, this game style that you're trying to play is shit. It's terrible. Why are you changing something? Changing the dynamic, you say, and you're feeding us to say it's going to work. And then when the game's on the line, you don't even play it. You do nothing to say that suggests to me that is a game style that's going to win us finals. When our best player on the ground is arguably Jace Burgoyne and Christian Moraes, you need to pull it back. Ollie Wines was fantastic as well, and Miles Bergman down back too. But you can't tell me the captain stood up. You can't tell me he was in the contest. That man probably doesn't have mud on his Guernsey. No grass stains. When the going got tough, he was literally standing there like a traffic cone. I love this club. I do. I love the players. Personalities are great, are fantastic. But when it comes to it, there is no grunt. There is no passion. There is nothing in their hearts that wants to go that extra mile. We've been doing it for so long. I'm mad, yes. I'm upset, yes. Am I going to cry about it? No. Because at the moment, when you're a Port Adelaide fan, you sit here and you almost just know this is going to happen. You know this is going to be a thing. And I'm disgruntled. I actually thought we were genuinely going to play a good game of football. And it had one good moment of Horn Francis kicking a nice goal in the last quarter, but didn't do much else. We missed easy set shots. It's Marvel. There's no wind. Why are you missing? There is nothing that you can tell me out of this game that's positive enough for me to take into next week. Tommy Cochrane comes on in the last quarter, has a few okay moments, nearly kicks a great goal from the pocket. Essendon sub comes on, Sard, and absolutely wipes the floor. Runs rings around our midfield. Like they're traffic cones. We're white traffic cones tonight. With a bit of teal tinge. Injuries like Bergman, getting a massive corky or a hamstring by the looks of it. Kane Farrell getting squashed. Alir was okay, but still dropping marks. Our defensive structure at the contest was piss poor. Willem Drew wasn't sticking tackles he normally does. The pressure around the contest was pus. These are just moments in contest. There was a specific moment in that third quarter, and I knew this is where we were going to lose the game. We've got a stoppage inside 50, and Connor Rosie's on Durham. And Durham runs into the contest, yet Connor's waiting for the outside ball to have a snapshot on goal so he can kick a goal and look great on the stats. There really needs to be some adjustments around this game. This is going to be a very, very long season, and a season I wouldn't even be talking about finals. I'd be talking about winning games at the moment. We play St Kilda next week in 10 days. They've just come off a great contest against the Cats. They'll probably dominate Richmond this weekend, and we're going to go into this game probably not favourites. I can't comprehend what we did. The stats, we lost the disposals by 16. You know, they had a lot more kicks than us. About 7 more kicks, actually. They had so much more inside 50. If the disposal discrepancy is only 16 and they're having 15 more inside 50s, how does that tell you about the game style? You know, we had a little bit more kicks to handball ratio this time. We were going at 1-1 last week, but this week we've gone a little bit more. Suggests that we're playing a lot more stop-start footy, which when we did that, we lost games last year. And what happened? We do it tonight. There's no fast-forward movement. The Bombers clogged the corridor very, very nicely, but this is the thing. Efficiency going inside 50 was 52%. So over half the time when we went inside 50, we were kicking a score. The problem was we're missing them. Easy set shots, out in the fulls. Joe Berry didn't even make the distance from 35 metres out. Horn Francis late in the game, misses, slides right. Willie Rowley misses, slides left. Georgiadis misses everything completely, misses to the right, misses to the left. I don't know where we stand at the moment. If this is going to be the feeling of being lost throughout the year, of being not even in a position to challenge the shit teams, and I'm not saying Essendon's shit. I know they lost to the Crows by 10 goals and they lost to a Hawthorn outfit that are pretty damn good. So what does that suggest about things? It suggests that we're not even on par with a team. There's a moment in time where it comes to say the final nail is in the coffin. And I'm afraid this time had come before round 1. So right now we're just scraping the edges and really fine-tuning this coffin. I'm sorry, Ken. We've got to be ruthless. We've got to be accountable. This cannot stand. This is going to be a 10-day break. This will be a long 10-day break between this game and the next one. Ivan Soldo, piss poor performance. I don't understand what that was. Giving away sloppy free kicks, holding the man. Get in front position. Get in the right position. Our positioning is one of the worst in the AFL. We're just lucky the ball will fall in our hands sometimes or flop out of the contest. You know, this is diabolical how, you know, we lost the clearances, won the hit-outs, stoppage clearances lost by 4, won the centre clearances, but we got smashed in contested possession, 122 to 94. Turnovers, we had a bit more, 56 to 52. All the leads sort of in the balance, you know, and they had so much possession in the last quarter. And they knew when to control the footy, Essendon. And we just didn't apply enough pressure to the ball carrier. And when we did, we were too far up. The press was too high, which meant that they were able to just leapfrog us over the top. And because we're too tired, they were able to stream through, and they had pace. Caldwell, Merritt, Hobbs was break. Hobbs, from what I hear from Essendon fans and from what I've seen, is a bang average footballer. But tonight looks like an A-grader. We have the ability to make these B-grader footballers look like A-graded $1 million players. It is... I'm ashamed and embarrassed of this performance, and I don't know what else to say. I'm sorry to the fans out there that love to believe and want to stick by the club, and I will do that. I will stick by there. I'll be there next weekend. I'll be wearing that lightning bolt Guernsey, celebrating 20 years since we last wore it, which, by the way, I'm pretty sure was a loss to St Kilda down at Tasmania after the siren where Daniel Motlop missed it. Happy to celebrate those losses too. But it's subpar. I'm afraid this season's going to be a long one, and if it turns around, there's obviously a lot of time to turn around. The next 3 games are very, very crucial to our year. You know, we probably put in the book we were going to be 3-2, 3-2 or 4-1 coming out of gather round, and to be sitting here 1-2, and the sole performance is against Richmond. It takes me back to 2016 where we bet a subpar Essendon when they were in their drug saga, and that was. Yeah, that was a tough year. So this is going to be a long one, and it's emotional. And yeah, boys need to find their soul. They need to find something to play for. Because if it's not for Ken, then I don't know what you're playing for. If you're playing for your money, then if money's going to be the thing, bye Miles Burgoyne, bye Jace Burgoyne, bye Zach Butters. We need a bit of heart, need a bit of grunt, need a performance that stands up, and I think we missed the likes of Zach Butters. Yeah. Dare I say it, does Charlie Dixon's number have a phone? You know, is that still going to ring if we give it a call? Because bloody hell. Mitch Georgiadis needs to practice his goal. I'm just throwing things out at the moment. You know, this is just a raw reaction. Yeah, like I said, if you're a fan that has a positive, you know, I'm not gonna disgruntle anyone that has a positive outlook on this, but I've been someone that's been very, very positive with this football club, even during the times where there's so many anti-Kens and everything. And I know I've projected things where it looks like I'm pro-Ken, and at the moment I don't want to protect anything anymore. This is as raw as it gets, and right now this football club needs to grow some balls and actually show something and actually showcase that they care about us fans, not giving us propaganda about a Guernsey that we wore 20 years ago during a game. Well, it was 3 days later, and it was a cutthroat game, it was an important game, and we're doing stuff like that. That's the review. If you have a comment, leave it in the comments below. If there's one positive take out of it, at least Trav has kicked a goal. He's kicked 2 goals for the year. That's pretty good. Pretty happy for you, Trav. Let me know in the comments below what you thought, Port fans. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to more for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content coming your way. My name's Anthony. As always, come the pair.